Hi, can you guys hear? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Oh, finally. Can you still hear me? Hear me? Hey, can you hear me, Adam? Oh, finally. Okay, good. All right, gonna wait a little bit for people to join. Awesome. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to animate. I've been animating Haru's in this usual style that I have on my Instagram, but I'm gonna try to actually reanimate him in the style, in the limited or simpler design style that I have on my avant-garde cartoons. So here's the reference that I used. All right, this is the reference. This guy right here, right here. I don't know if it'll play it in full time, but trying to get that dance. If I zoom out, you can see how dancing on the side. Hey, Dylan. Okay, so I'm trying to get that dance. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the design over here so I can see him, and then I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna do it in a bitmap. All right. I mean, usually when I'm doing really rough early stuff, I like to do it in vector. So I'm actually gonna go vector, add and close, and then I like to click on this little light bulb here, which is the light table, so that it only focuses on the layer I'm on. Okay. So I'll pick the brush. So that what that does is it dims out everything else. So if I turn that off, everything is visible, and it's like you can't focus on the layer you're on. So when I turn that on, it dims everything else, and the layer you're on is the one that's most visible. Okay, so when I'm initially roughing out my animation, I keep things very rough, very loose. I'm not worried about being on model. I mean, you want to be close to it, but I'm not worried about how good it looks. I'm not worried about details. Just my basically my main focus in the beginning is focusing on the shapes, the arcs of the body, and the energy, overall energy. Okay, so frame one, and because this is looping, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna animate, create the first pose on frame one. Okay. feet are a little shorter. So see how, and I like to make the brush a little thick so that keeps me from getting into like deep details and trying to get all pretty with my drawings. And it helps also to focus on silhouette, because if your brush is thick, you kind of are forced to focus on simple, clean shapes. So this foot is going back. This foot is in the front. This foot is in the back. Kind of like that. All right. Yeah, he has a peanut body or sausage body. His head, he's looking off this way and kind of down. His nose. And then we're going to draw that's basically the shape that his entire body is following, that curve. Throwing his hand back. Okay, and then this other arm is way back behind there, so you can't really see this other arm. So kind of stick out its belly a little bit. Okay. Get rid of this stuff and just roughen the face. His chin, I'm going to put in front of his chest here and give him a little cheek back here. So you can see it's very rough. So kind of just like sometimes it's like painting in just dark silhouettes and shapes. All right. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll use the skew tool. Like I want to kind of push that bend in his body, that arc. So I'll just do that and just make it a bit stronger. All right. So now the cool thing about Harmony is I set it up here. I've created a peg layer above the layer I'm drawing on, and basically a peg is where you can grab the whole drawing and just move it around. Okay, you can basically animate it. So if on the second frame, if I extend this out, on the second frame, if I move the peg up, and then the next frame I move it this way, it's basically going to animate. Okay, but the way I use pegs is on the keyframe here, I basically took the pegs and flipped them. So now if I take that drawing and place it under that peg right there, it's gonna flip its pose. Another thing I like about Harmony is when you copy a drawing and move it over on the timeline, whatever you do on this other drawing, so like let's say I don't know, like let's say I draw horns on him or something. You go to the next drawing, and those horns are there. Like whatever you do to that first drawing, or no matter, like even if you have something like a repetition of a drawing, like every 4 frames that same drawing shows up. Whatever you do to one of those drawings is gonna add it to. It's gonna affect all of the drawings that are, no matter how many times they're reused. So now you have him doing the changing from side to side as it's going back and forth. Okay, so then my next key is kind of going up his weight is on this foot right here. Okay. So this foot back here. So then what he's doing is he's going up and switching over to this foot. Now he's going to catch the weight on this second foot. Okay. So I'm going to, again, turn on this light bulb so I can just focus on the layer I'm on. And have his hips are down here, but now he's up here. He's kind of hitting the high point before he goes down on this foot. And I also flip back and forth a lot. The software is Toon Boom Harmony. Okay, so now this foot is stretched. It's going to catch the weight on this foot, and this other foot is kind of dragging on the floor to the next position. And then throw this arm in. And this other arm pops out from behind. All right. And the way I'm flipping back and forth between the keys is S to go back and G to go forward. Okay. And then his hips are going down. And this leg is catching the weight. And I usually don't really have the onion skin on. Usually I only turn it on if like the foot I want it to be planted, so I don't want it like off. Then I'll turn it on and just see where that foot is, and then turn it off. And I kind of flip more than use onion skin. Okay, and then this he goes on this foot, and this other foot he raises up. Shifts his weight is still on this foot kind of, but then when he catches his weight on this leg, the body shifts over. Maybe even a little bit more. Okay. Head turns this way. Send this out. Okay. So this head is turning this way, and then it goes into that key pose over there. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. Just kind of work through. Okay. I'm gonna shift them over just a little bit more. So it's kind of like his body's acting kind of like a whip. Like if I create a new layer, it's basically doing that. So then his body starts going back, and bam, it's kind of like whipping. Okay, so then I'll just copy all these frames and paste them where the second half of my cycle is, and there you go. And then here, move him over a bit. See, it did the same thing for this one. It moved this drawing over this way since I moved the other one. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. And then if you hit this little circle here, it isolates the layer you're currently drawing on. So it hides everything else, and then I'll turn on the color card, which is the white in the background, and I'll hit enter, and it'll cycle through. Okay, so then I want to add one more drawing here. Where he catches his weight on this foot. Okay, here, goes down here. Again, simple shapes. Just focusing mostly on silhouette and how things are moving around. His head, he tosses his head back here. Squash his little belly here. And then he pops this arm out. When you have different timing on different parts of the body, let's say arms and legs, do you sometimes use layers to separate animation of different parts, or you always keep it in one layer? This initial rough is always on one layer. when I'm first planning stuff out and just like roughing stuff out, it's always one layer. When I'm tying things down, the stage after this will also probably be on one layer. But then when I'm tying things down, then I might start breaking things into different layers. So I might focus on like just the hip movement, and then I'll layer the chest on top of that. Not always, not it's not like something I always do, but if I do layer stuff, it's gonna be in the tie down stage. Like the stage right after the rough animation. This isn't. I wouldn't even call this rough animation. This is more of the planning and just like getting the energy and just the shapes and silhouette and figuring out the movement first. Okay, and then I'll take this drawing and put it in the second half of the cycle. Again, I'll turn this off. Oops. And play. I kind of want to. When it settles on this end, I kind of want pushing this way a little bit more. So I'll push this that way. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. And there's one more drawing here. Where he kind of goes up to, he throws this leg over, land it here, and this other leg he kind of like it just kind of whips back or slides back with his body. This. Shooting this leg out here. Okay, see if I grab this drawing and put it here, as I finish this drawing, it's gonna finish it on the other side too. As the body goes up, the head kind of drags behind, which is why the head here is up, the head is looking up, but as his body shoots up, his head goes down. So the ears are here. And then again, I might grab this and just skew it up a little bit, stretch them out even higher. Let me push them over. And then here we go on the other side, and that drawing. It's there.
Hi, Pixaria.
Okay. All right, let's see it. Let's hit play and watch it. Okay, now this would be it for my planning stage. If I hit play, it's working, and then in the next stage, I'm going to start trying to. Yeah, this is my initial start is very rough, and besides being rough, it's also like how do I explain this? Like every time I start animating a scene, I start drawing bad, and as I start roughing stuff out and like figuring out the animation, the drawing kind of starts to kick in later. So it also helps to make a thick brush. So I'm just focusing on the shapes and the silhouettes and the getting the energy, and not trying to make nice drawings, because then whenever I have started stuff before where I start off just trying to make nice drawings, and then stuff becomes very tight and stiff, and it doesn't have that fluid feel to it. Okay, so if I like my rough animation, yeah, draw ugly. So if I like my rough animation, then I'll create a new layer, and this time I'll make it a bitmap, add and close, and then now I'll start going in and putting the character more on model. Get rid of this stuff. Okay, so I have him here, and I want to hide this hot animation. Now, if you notice this Haru, his head is kind of like pushed out a bit. It's like pushed out that way, and his like shoulder and stuff here is here. But this guy, his neck is kind of like we said earlier, he has a sausage type body or a peanut type body, so his head can't go too far off. But I'll try my best to figure that stuff out. So I usually like to pick like red or blue. I don't. There's no particular reason, but I just like to do this stage in a different color. Well, in Harmony, I mean coloring in, it's like you have, for example, a hand. Okay. Oops. So you have a hand. Okay. In Harmony, if you hit K, where you can see the edges, and you close the gap, and then you just create a color. And go here, paint unpainted, and you just fill it in like that. And then you can always change the color. That's the cool thing. Like you can change it around. So just change it. All right. So in a new layer. Hi, Lady Do DT. Okay. So I'll pick red, And then if I go here, click on this little light icon, I forgot what it's called, top light. And then you can change the like how visible the bottom layer is. I like it to be kind of barely visible. Okay. And then I'll start going in and putting it more on model, and still rough, but better drawing. Usually like to start from the hip area because that's where the weight is usually taking place. Push this foot out. Might give him a little bit like more of this area here. Here his legs just go up here, but I don't want to see his hip area. And then this foot is pushed back. I'm gonna keep his slippers on, so he's dancing with slippers. This foot's a little bit bigger because it's in the front, and this foot is in the back. Okay, and then also on this stage, I kind of start trying to see like what shape his like. This is I'm not breaking him up into layers, but I'm kind of starting to draw as if stuff is on. Like I'm visually breaking stuff up into parts, like the chest. Okay, his shoulder is right here. Maybe it's just a little too big. Oops. That. Okay, I'm gonna draw his chin here. I'm gonna give him a bit of a cheek to push his head out. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish this drawing. I'm gonna head out because my kids are home and go spend some time with them before they go to bed. And then if you guys enjoy this, let me know, and I'll continue it some other time. All right, that's good to know because for me, I mean, I do this all the time, and it seems like it's just like something that would be boring to watch. But if you guys enjoy it and it's helpful, I'll do more. Okay. Hi, Rob. Yes, I got them. Yes, okay. So then I feel like his head is a little too high. Push it down a little bit. Okay. Just see the shoulder, and there you go. Nakarme, sakigam. Nakarme, sakigam. All right. Okay. I'm gonna leave this at that, and then next time we'll continue from here. Thank you guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Bye-bye.